body, speech, and mind held in perfect oneness. I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness and transcend all anxiety and sorrow.
Ba nghiệp lắng thanh tịnh, gửi lòng theo tiếng chuông. Nguyện người nghe tỉnh thức, vượt thoát nẻo đau buồn.
My brothers and sisters, first of all, I would like to welcome you all to our weekly Friday session. And this is the last Friday of the month, so according to our schedule, we have tea together. And we also have things to share together. As you know that as a human, we all walk in this life and looking for something. We're looking for happiness. And because of the word of happiness, that's why we never stop looking for many things in order to make us happy. We're looking for good food to make us happy. We're looking for good job. We're looking for, a fancy house, anything from materialistic until spiritually, just to make us feel happy. And that is what we call happiness. Beside material life, we're also looking for something called spiritual. And that's why we come to religions. And we should remember that religion is something we believe. And they will offer us some way, some guidance in order for us to practice so we can gain the inner peace. Buddhism is not a religion that you come for faith. Buddhism is the way to live that make your living more mindful and more happy. And the key word that we used to use here almost every Friday, we remind, is happiness or mindfulness. We're still eating, but if we are mindful on our food, we will take the right food in order to affordable for our physical body. We still talk every day, but with mindfulness, our words will be more mindful, more peace, and we will bring more happiness for the one who we speak to. Without mindfulness, we may take a lot of things that extremely over, then that may cause ourselves sick. physically and mentally. So therefore, if I can tell you that 99% all the friends who come here Fridays, you all have your own belief. You still can keep what you believe. But this is the technique, the way. So you can make what you believe more strong, and you become a happy believer. Not the blind one, just faith without any reflecting. So mindfulness is the key word here. Mindfulness is the main thing we practice here. We still drink tea. We drink tea for many years. But maybe we just drink our tea with a lot of worries, a lot of careless. But now you come here, you learn how to enjoy the tea. The tea is already there to serve us. But sometimes because of working, because of worries, because of suffering, we don't know how to stop to enjoy. So because we are running, we are chasing for something, but actually everything is there. As long as we stop and we can enjoy it right away. So you all know that there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. You say, oh, you're looking for Friday. When you come here, you sit here, you're still not happy at all. You still continue to worry, and you're sitting here, but you are not really here. So that's why the word happiness sometimes is like a dream, because we never know how to touch what is the real meaning of the word happiness. So there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. If we still can sit here and drink tea, we still here, we realize that our hearts still beat good, still work good, we still can hear, we still can see, that is happiness. So Buddhism is not a religion, but Buddhism is the way to live mindfully. A lot of people, they have money, but they don't know how to use the money right. That's why they may waste the money. So Buddhism is the practice. We have money, then we know how to use money. We all have the eyes, the ears, the body, everything. It's a great happiness. But the point here is, do we recognize we do have that kind of happiness? And if we recognize it, we realize it, we'll stop wondering, but we will stay firmly and enjoy. And that is how. So the question, this is not the answer. Because each of us will view and practice in different way, because we have different situation, different environment to practice. Some of you may have time to practice sitting meditation, but some of you have not. So you don't have time to sit down to meditate. That doesn't mean you cannot meditate. You can meditate while you are driving, while you are shoveling the snow. So like Brother Lawrence, he asked us, what is your favorite, your happiness in the winter time? For himself, he liked winter because he's able to shovel the snow, because that is a good exercise. Like Michelle, she likes to step on the ice so she can hear sounds. Let me tell you the story about related to this matter. There's a monk, every time when he comes to Dhamma talk, and the first thing he teaches, he say, so happy, I'm so happy. One day he was sick. He lay down on bed and he said, so suffering, I'm so suffering. And the other monk heard that, and he said, and he came and asked him, why you usually say you're happy, and today you say you are suffering? And he said, when I'm not sick, I'm happy. When I'm sick, I'm suffering. That's normal. Why you ask? And he said, someday I saw you fell down. That's really hurt, but you still smile. And today, just a minor cold, minor fever, and you shout out and you say you suffering. And the monk said, come close to me, come close to me. And the other monk come very close to him. And he said, you tell me, suffering, I told you I'm suffering and I'm happy. So which one is right? Do you hear the question? He said, when I say suffering, and someday I say happy, let you tell me, can you tell me, happiness is right or suffering is right? And this is what is the answer here. Neutral. If we turn ourselves into a very negative person, always suffering, that's no life. And if we turn ourselves to become a positive, always happy, that means we don't see the other facts of life, the other phase of life. The practice here is, when you're sick, you're pain, you're not well, you're not feeling well, physically, mentally, you know it. And someday there is nothing wrong with your physical body, nothing wrong with your mind, you're happy, you know it. This is the practice. We cannot stick on any way. If you're extremely happy, and someday there are things come that you don't know how to face. Let's say we always practice happy. But if you go to a funeral, you cannot just sit there and laugh. And people will say, why you laugh? Oh, I'm so happy. Because I practice, right? Even you're so happy, but you know you are coming to a funeral. Then you have to know that you are attending a funeral, then you should practice and adapt with the environment as a funeral. When you go to a party, it's time to be happy. Don't just sit so sad and why? Oh, life is suffering. Life is suffering. This is the Buddhist practice. Wherever you live, what kind of environment, you can adapt easily. Because every environment, they have their own valuable. For example, winter. We say we like winter, and each of us, we have different way to like it. I like winter because I can skate, I can snow, I can ski, I can shovel the snow like a good exercise, I can walk on the ice, I can hear all the cracks, I can use the snow like the cold weather like my big freezer. I can cool off something very easily, very fast. And then if few more months later, spring comes, then we still enjoy the spring. When summer comes, we still have things to enjoy. When it's autumn, we still have things to enjoy. Like I like the autumn because the yellow leaves fell down, look very pot, and we can step and walk on the dry leaves. We can hear different sounds of the leaves. And we can see many colors of the leaves. So the autumn give us a beautiful nature, the image of nature. So if we only stick to what is called religions, then there are many things that obstacle, that prevent us. But if we know that even what you call religion, but we have to understand the purpose of religion is to offer us the way to live happy. Do not just take the way. Do not just grab the map and sure that you're on the way. You only grab the map, you're not on your way unless you really walk on it. And do not suffer and sure your map is the absolutely right. Because if the map is not updated, you may get lost. Even the navigator, if you have the old one now, some of the new street, new area they open, the old GPS cannot tell you where to go. So it needs to be updated. Religions have to be updated. Otherwise, it cannot offer the real practice for their believer. If we just stick to what we attach to, and we are not, we just frame ourselves. Is that help you a little bit? That you can open and you can practice easily. Let's say if we are a flower, and what is the purpose of the flower? To decorate. So no matter where they decorate you, this is the vase of flower. I put it here so we can enjoy like a tea ceremony. After the tea ceremony is done, I can bring in the washroom and leave it there so to make my washroom look nicer, fresher. The flower will never suffer. But the one who have the idea, flower only in the living room, then we are suffering, not the flower. You see what I mean by that? So remember, religions offer us the way to be happy, not to offer us the way for us to suffering for. They're offering us the way to liberate, not to offer us the way to block ourselves. And if we can see it this way, we practice easily.
Seems to believe in freedom each one and each hour of every day, and directed to take part in the work of rescuing beings, the career of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. This moment, which is so precious, makes me feel overwhelmingly grateful. I bow deeply to the world honored one and bear witness to this gratitude and embrace this with compassion.
Did you hear the recitation on happiness? This is the same way in the way we pray. In this practice, when you pray, doesn't mean you pray to the Buddha so the Buddha hear your prayer. But it is the time for us to reread all the teachings. So every time we read it, we're able to make the teaching more clear. And then we take it strongly so we can apply in our daily life. This is the way we pray. Let's say the Buddha is the one who gives the teachings. So he doesn't need to sit there and listen to us so we repeat what he taught. But there is a ceremony that the time we formally recite the teachings in order to make the teachings become reality in our daily practice. So the Buddha always reminds us. Our fortunate is we still can have the eyes to see the blue sky, the cloud. We still have the ear to listen to the bird sings. We still have the tongue to taste. We still have the hands to touch. We still have a good nose to smell. And that is already fortunate. That is already happiness. But sometimes we forgot. So that's why when you read it and you can hear all of that. I vow not to let forgetfulness sweep away my happiness. Sometimes we have a very cozy family. We did not know about that. And we have another relationship outside from our long-term relationship. So we use the short-term relationship in order to destroy the long-term relationship. And that is what we call forgetfulness. If we are mindful, we will not do that. We know that if we want to protect our happiness, we learn to protect the happiness of others. Mindfulness will remind us we are now 40 years old, 50 years old. We should know our age, our physical sickness, or our own health in order to work that appropriate for our health, our physical body. So again, I want, according to our brother recitation, I would like to another time to introduce you. What is the meaning of the prayer? How to pray and why we pray in Buddhism. But we come to the Buddha with the image of the Buddha. We sit there formally. We recite. And remember, that doesn't mean so he can hear his own words. But we read it in order to make the words become the energy, the vitamins to nourish us. So to remind us, we already know. But if things are not reminded, we may forget. We used to forget many things that we have. Let's say sometimes we know that we have a set of a tea set at home. But when you need to use it, you try to looking for, you don't know where they are. So once in a while we need to clean up the house and to refresh where you install things. So when you need them, you know where to find them. Sometimes we know we have it, but now is the time for us to need it. We cannot find it. And we're willing to go out and buy the new one or use something temporary. But the proper one, we know we have it, but we cannot find it. So there are things very valuable we store in our house. But we don't see them often, that's why we cannot use them. We use something very temporary. But there are things that are very valuable and ready there for us to use, we don't use. Same thing. We have so many valuable capacity within us, but we did not know how to cultivate and make that become possible. That's why, I always remind myself. So every time when I come here on Friday to share with you, it doesn't mean I give you a talk, but while I'm sharing, it's also give me a chance to remind myself too. And without you coming here, I may stop searching and looking for and practice. So you are the one who support my practice. And I also the one who support your practice. We supporting each other on the way. So when we are driving, we are stopped at the stop sign. Doesn't mean we make the others one safety, but we also safety. So remember, every single thing we do for life, we don't do for others only, but at the same time we're doing those for ourselves. Because the more we give out, don't forget, we still live in the same environment. If we give out a lot of pollution, we cannot run away from this pollution. So if we yell, we're angry in the house, we're still in that house to intake all kind of that negative environment. So the practice here is to help us to see the the related between us and the others. That's why one incense light up, the whole room smell. We all can come here and enjoy the fragrance of it. One person doing good thing, the whole community affect. But if one person doing bad thing, the whole community also affect. Reflecting in the incense. If I light up in this room with the sandalwood incense, not only me to enjoy the fragrance of it, all of us, when we come to this room, we also enjoy the fragrance of it. But if there is something very bad smell in this room, we all have to smell the same. So what is the practice? What practice here again? To remind us, we always related. So there is no distance between religions. Different way explain, different way, different language. You call a cup, in Vietnamese we don't call a cup, we call something else. So, but the purpose of this cup is the same, just different name. And mindfulness will help us to see that. And if we don't have that, lot of argument, lot of distance. So sometimes in the same house, the wife and the husband sometimes miscommunicate. And because of the miscommunication, that's why arguments happen. If we do have the good communication, nothing wrong. But because of that miscommunication, that's why we learn to open our heart, to listen more carefully, to reflect more carefully, instead of angry easily at every single word that person said. Sometimes that person said that, they don't mean it. Just this is the only way how they say, how they use the words. And if we're angry with the words, then we will take the words seriously and destroy the happiness between two. Remember, words only temporary thing for us to use to communicate, to understand each other. But because with our mindfulness we would take the word seriously, we use the thing called temporary to damage something called permanently. And this will be, not worth. Drinking is something to help us to satisfy our thirsty, no matter tea or water. Sometimes we suffer because of tea or water, but we forgot what is the purpose of drinking. And meditation, help us to see things clearly like that. Because why? Why we're able to see that? Because we calm. Once we calm, we can see things clear. Once we are unable to be calm, it's like the water boiling all the time. And not only burn ourselves, but we also burn the others. And remember, the more the boiling water, the more it evaporates. The more you leave it cool, the more you can see things clear. The more you're angry, the more you just destroy yourself. We burn a lot of calories in ourselves. We eat a lot of protein, a lot of vitamins. But a single time we're angry, we burn thousands of calories in ourselves. It's waste. It's like when you take some medication, you need to avoid some of the food because this food may make your medication become nothing. So if you take this medication, you should stop some of this kind of food. Same thing. Mindfulness. I can talk about mindfulness all the time because this helped me a lot in my practice. Help me to see things, help me to see how can I deal, how can I face in many different situations. Sometimes just a small work, but with mindfulness will help you to be finished easily and fast and quick and nothing big deal. Without mindfulness, still okay. You still done it, but take time. And you have hardly to deal with it. So I encourage that we all take time to practice meditation at home. This is not related to anything. What you believe. This is the technique we all need to practice. It's like breathing technique. If we breathe good, we gain health. We don't breathe good, we damage health. So every day spend time using breathing technique. Once you can breathe slowly and calm yourself down, you can see a lot of miracles. People will say, "Oh, what's a bless?" Not actually, no one follow us and bless us, but we bless ourselves. We have the master key in hand. The point is, do we know to open this master key for this building, All doors you can open. The other building, they have their own master key. Don't think that you have the master key and you can open all the buildings. Thầy Lauren share nữa đi. Thầy hát đi. Hát bài. So Brother Lawrence will sing a song. Đây là tịnh độ tiếng Anh.
So I will sing. I'm not going to sing, but I want. I think everyone can sing. So everyone that knows the song. There's a song called Thay asked me to sing. It's called "Here Is the Pure Land," and I think my brothers can help me sing. I had to start it on. Okay. Here is the pure land, the pure land is here. I smile in mindfulness and dwell in the present floating cloud, the Sangha body is everywhere. My true home is right here. Breathing in, flowers are blooming, breathing out. I am aware that bamboos are saying my mind is free, and I enjoy every moment.
Beautiful song.
So I'd like to thank everyone for coming and spending their time with us, and for your sharing as well. Just a few announcements. Tomorrow we're having our mindfulness day. It's a day of practice. For those of you who don't know, it's a day of practice that we have each month, where we take out a whole Saturday from 9 until 5 to practice mindfulness. We start the day at 9 o'clock with a meditation, and that's from 9 until about 40-minute meditation. And then after that we practice walking meditation, and then we come back and we sit a little bit more, and then we have a mindful lunch. After the mindful lunch we practice total relaxation, which we practiced if you were here last week. I think we did that last week. And after the total relaxation we have a Dharma talk, and after the Dharma talk we have a Dharma sharing, and after the sharing we have a short chanting. And so the entire day is it's free, but we were also happy to accept any donations. And if you cannot attend the whole day, you can also attend a portion of the day as well. So if you can only attend from the morning meditation till lunch or after lunch, whenever you can make it, and however long you can stay with us, it's up to you. But the entire day is open. But the only thing is that if you're going to come, if you're going to be here for lunch, then please let me know. If you haven't registered yet, please let me know so that I can let the cooks know, and we have enough food for tomorrow. So I'd like to invite everyone to listen to the sounds of the bell to end our session tonight.
Body, speech, and mind held in perfect oneness. I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness and transcend all anxiety and sorrow.
Bye.